Hi guys, it's Jane, and in this video I would like to sum up my Inktober works as well as talk about some of the art supplies that I actually used during this Inktober, some of the art supplies that I bought and didn't touch during Inktober at all, and I would also like to say something about what I have planned for my future videos. Yeah, so let's get started. I managed to finish 24 Inktober drawings, and you've seen process of most of them on my channel already if you have been watching, and if you did, I'm very glad and thankful for your support. But if you didn't, that's how many drawings I did, and I was on time only with 21 of my drawings. Last three drawings were done behind schedule during the health troubles that I have been experiencing, and I told you last week that I will finish the remaining 7 illustrations, and I didn't. So that's bad news. And I want to at least show you what I had planned and tell you why I didn't finish them. So this is kind of embarrassing for me. So this is my very ugly sketchbook that I use sometimes to create these little thumbnails of my future artworks, just to take the edge off. And I had this planned before I uploaded my last video, so I thought that I already knew what to paint, and I simply wanted to spend 1 or 2 hours on each of these drawings and complete my 31 series. So Ghost you have seen in my last video, that was Created, Ancient and Dizzy as well, and here is where I stopped. So the prompts that I have not drawn properly were Tasty, Dark, Coat. This is the one that my daughter posed for, and I wanted to draw my daughter with large coat and my boyfriend with a cat, with our cat. And here are Injured, Catch and Ripe, but I just wasn't feeling very well and couldn't get myself to create these illustrations after the deadline passed. So maybe you can tell, but I'm slightly art blocked right now. Not slightly, I think I have a big art block right now. And I'm having troubles coming up with ideas, and that's not good timing for me because in a month I have a solo exhibition that is taking place in my hometown, and the room that I have to fill with paintings is quite large, and I wanted to create some new artworks, and of course that I always imagine that my future artworks will be better than the ones that I've already created, and just wanted to do something grand. And so I tried to sketch some things down and nothing really clicks. I seem to be excited about nothing. Now I can imagine the worst case scenario is that I simply don't come up with anything during the upcoming month, and I will simply exhibit the old stuff, and that's fine, but it's not what I expected from my solo exhibition. So I would like to get unstuck. This is my personal trauma and drama right now that I'm going through. I need to probably just start painting something, anything at all. If it's a girl with purple hair and a cat and holding a cat, that's better than nothing, and that should get me unstuck. But I still want to say thank you, because you did help me a great deal to actually go through the Inktober as it was, even during the first 21 days, and you've been encouraging me, and I don't think I've ever got so many comments on my videos as during Inktober, and so I'm very thankful for all that encouragement. And I hope that some of you successfully finished Inktober, and I think each and every one of us learned something new that we can incorporate in our own work and just continue continue drawing. But I will tell you which tools have I actually used during Inktober, because I bought so many tools and some of them I didn't use at all. So let's start with those that I didn't use. I bought these colorful Karateki brush pens. They are not waterproof and I didn't use them. They're good though. I tried to do some lines with them in my sketchbook and they were fine. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just that I thought that my Inktober works will be painted or drawn in a different style that I ended up with. So that's all. So that's why I didn't use these. Some other tools that I used, you saw me in a couple of videos to use the regular brush pen filled with water and diluted ink. And I did use it, but in the end I switched to my brush because that was the tool that I had more control over, and I could just increase or decrease the intensity of the ink wash quicker than if I'm using this. So I think I used it in like 3 or 4 drawings and then stopped using it and just used my palette and a brush and a bit of ink. So that was it. Some other things that I saw and bought and didn't use in the end were, this is also a Karateki pen and it was actually pretty handy in some cases. This is very dark. It's a very dark fine liner. So one tip is a fine liner and the other tip is a brush pen. So that was very handy. Sometimes when I needed a very quick and strong dark line, this helped a lot. But I realized that it is not waterproof and therefore I had to be careful. Sometimes I smudged it occasionally if I had to edit something with water. And so I only continued using things that were waterproof in the end. Same problem with these two. By the way, the ink is really good and even the flow is great and I love it. If I was to create a complete drawing with just one pen, I would probably pick one of these. But since I combined media together and I switched between water and dry media, and they were not waterproof, that was sort of interfering sometimes. So I didn't use them in the end much. Not much. But what I did use, now the tools that came in handy, what I did use in the end were Pentel brush pen, and guys, like I've watched so many reviews for the pen and I saw so many artists using it and it is really that great. It is really everything they tell that it is. It's waterproof, it makes really nice lines and I just take it with me everywhere now. Really like it. So that was Pentel brush pen. Another thing that I was using were micron pens, and they are perfectly waterproof, and anytime that I needed to do something quickly, then these tools were the best option. Okay, and now the option that was a lot of fun but was not so quick was my dip pen. I fell in love with the tip that I bought. I bought a couple of tips from Jackson's Art Supplies and I've been testing them. This was originally a blue nib. See, it's blue. But it's not blue anymore since I've been using it a lot, and I just like the fun of it. I just like how it interacts with paper, and it was a lot of fun. However, you do have to dip it. So then I realized that the bottle in which Winsor & Newton has their Indian ink is not ideal for dipping. So I tried to put some of the ink into the like a dwell on my palette, and that I could dip in, sort of. Still wasn't working very well. And therefore I bought some new inks from Karateki. It is the Schmincke ink and black ink. Why I bought them is because of this large opening, and then you can dip your dip pen very easily into such bottles. So I appreciate this bottle design, and dip pen along with these might be my favorite inking tool when I have a lot of time to spare and when I just want to enjoy the process. And then you probably noticed that I used brushes. This is just some very cheap synthetic, I think, Faber-Castell brush, and I completely ruined it. When you use a brush for ink washes, then you have to be careful, because you have to be careful not to use your most expensive brush, because it is significantly harder on the bristles than watercolor is. And this is what I've been observing also when painting with coffee and ink too, so be careful. I wouldn't use my most expensive brushes with either coffee or ink. And then this is also synthetic, and it was helping me a great deal. You saw this brush being used in a couple of those videos, mainly for larger areas where I needed to cover a large area quickly with ink, basically. So yeah, brushes, those are my favorite tools. For sketching, it was either alizarin crimson polychromos pencil or my graphite mechanical pencil. Graphite obviously smudges, so sometimes I prefer the red. I've been experimenting during Inktober with some green under drawings, and you maybe saw it in my husky piece. But most of the time, even in regular work, I use these two. And then white highlights, and we're done with this. When it comes to white highlights, I use Uniball Signal, the broad one, the broadest. I do have the smaller one, the medium, but I mostly need this kind of broad line. But even better is this white opaque ink by Kurteki. I've been talking about it non-stop, and the ink is insanely opaque, and it helped me in so many drawings, even to cover up some mistakes. So this is one of the tools that I would recommend for you if you are looking for something that is insanely opaque and waterproof also, upon drying, I mean. In conclusion, I maybe would like to make ink a bit more regular part of my watercolor artworks. Even the darkest watercolor is usually quite matte and not so dark in the end, so maybe it would be worthwhile to try to combine ink and watercolor yet again. I wouldn't be the first artist to combine ink and watercolor, of course, but I could strive for finding my own way, and I do enjoy the medium. I think it was really worth it to do the challenge again. I would like to also mention that some of my Inktober artworks were receiving a lot of engagement on social media, and when back then at the open door day in my studio, a lot of people bought prints of some of the Inktober artworks, and some of them I would like to distribute as prints, and therefore I'll be putting them up on my online store along with some originals that I still have left. I also wanted to mention what I have planned for the future. Sometimes on Instagram I show you stories in which I embellish my watercolor business cards, and I do create these little watercolor business cards that I embellish by myself. I mean, embellish them by hand. See, they're metallic. And a couple of people were asking me about the process, how I create them, and I actually did a commission last year for a friend in which she asked me to create an illustration for her and create these watercolor business cards. And yeah, so that's one video that I can do if you're interested, so let me know if this is something that you would like to see on my channel. Was just an idea. And another thing that I have planned, and I even got some new art supplies from the Slovakian distributor that is really so nice that they send me just to test them out, and in this case they sent me metallic watercolors, which you know that I use regularly anyway, and I have so many of them. And those are Fine-Tech Coliro watercolors that are metallic. So these are all my sets, and it's insane like how many I own. Those sets are, except for the golden set, those sets are all made by me. Meaning is that I pick the colors. I do not buy every set and I do not buy every color, but I still own a whole lot of them, and they're insanely helpful, and I really like to embellish my artworks with these. And yeah, this is one of the most enjoyable things that I have in my possession, at least for me. But they, besides Coliro, they also sent me the Koreteki golden set, which is much less expensive, and I wanted to compare those two, so that would be coming up as a video during November. So hope you're excited for that. If you have been trying to get your hands on some golden watercolors, or if you are using any other brand of metallic watercolors besides Koreteki and Coliro, then let me know, maybe in the comments. Maybe I could buy another set and just throw them in for comparison. That would be a fun idea. I also have quite a lot of new watercolor brushes, and since I do watercolor workshops, as I mentioned, then I get asked every single week which brushes to buy and which are good, which are not. And like right now I'm at home, I'm not in my studio, so this is only a very tiny fraction of the amount of watercolor brushes that I own. And this week I bought a new one. This is the silver black velvet brush that I haven't tested out yet, and I would like to do a big brush review and try to paint different paintings with different brushes and see how they hold up, compare prices and compare the quality of the bristles. I still think that to make a thorough review, you can't just use the new brush once or twice, and that same goes for paints. So I've been trying to figure out how to do a review that would really be reliant without spending a month, but it's probably not gonna be possible to do without painting at least 5 paintings with a tool that I'm supposed to review, because when I paint one, you can get first impressions, but you really get to know the tool only after you've been using it for a while. And same goes for brushes. Some brushes, when I bought them, they were new and they were amazing, and then in only a few weeks the quality was significantly lowered just by using them. And this is for example one of those things that I'm trying to wrap my head around, because I would like to help all the starting watercolorists so they don't have to spend their money on stuff that is not worth it. At the same time, I do not want to recommend stuff that is too expensive. So this is what I would like to do. So a metallic paint review, brush review, watercolor business cards, and let's hope, for God's sakes, that I will create some new paintings this month to share with you, because I would really like to be satisfied with myself, and I haven't had that feeling for 2 weeks now, and I've only been disappointed with myself. And one could think that health problems is something that you can't influence, and they happen when they happen, and it's understandable if you can't work because you're unhealthy or feeling bad. But it's the other way around, I think, and I had the problems coming really And right now I need to adjust my lifestyle, because every time I have a health problem, it points out towards the way I live every day. It points out towards my sitting a lot, my not exercising enough, or eating very badly, and not getting enough sleep, not getting enough fluids, and so on. And so I need to get healthy if I want to do this job. So it doesn't make sense to work like 70 hours a week, right? Okay, guys, I thank you very much sincerely for sticking out with me. If you have survived this video and my runs and my thoughts, then I congratulate you. I don't know if you're getting something out of these kind of vlogs where I only talk and just let my thoughts run naturally, but I hope that you do, and I promise you that my upcoming content will be more professional. Let's call it more user-friendly, I don't know. I would just like to do a more specific video on a specific topic that would help you to solve some very specific watercolor problem or painting problem. So that's my goal with this channel after all. And this past month I only been vlogging, and I like to watch vlogs, and that's why I'm doing it. But yeah, let's spice things up a little bit. Okay, please guys, let me know what you would like to see first, and some of the footage I already have recorded and prepared, so I could release either topic first. Let me know which you would be interested in, so that I know maybe if one of these topics has been covered and you've heard so many things that you don't need enough information, you don't need more information on it, then let me know as well, so I don't waste my time. And basically any kind of interaction that you write in the comments is well appreciated, and it is really helpful. I will see you next Thursday, and I really appreciate you very much. Bye bye.
I wanna know, is time moving backwards or is it slow? I wanna know, did AI need that practice? I wanna know, will I see you back home or on the road? Yeah, will I see you back home or on the road? Back and forth just ain't enough. I know my